What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the 904 Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Alex, joined by my co-host, as always, Nick.
What's going on, everybody? How's this fine Tuesday going?
Hopefully better than mine went. Man, oh man, I feel like Nick and I both had just an absolute day at work.
Yeah, mine wasn't as bad as yours from the sounds of it, but I will say, it just wasn't easy, dude. It's hot out there now. Those temps are climbing.
Yeah, I was chugging some sugar-free Gatorade for sure to try to stay hydrated as best I could, and yeah, it was a warm one. It was a warm one. But
it's not even peak summer.
I know, I can't wait, buddy. I can't wait. But we're
You
gonna.
wanted this.
I did.
You didn't like the cold.
They call. Oh no, that too. Yeah, no, I definitely like the heat. I don't mind the heat. If I have a choice between the heat or cold, I will take the heat 7 days to Sunday.
I probably would too. Then at least I know I can go fish.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
A lot easier.
That's in line with today's podcast episode, which is surf fishing for sharks. Shark fishing from the surf, however you want to say it. And we're going to go over gear, different rigs, all that jazz. You guys know how it is. Before we kick off, Nick, you want to go over the forecast for this weekend?
If you just give me one moment, I'm having technical difficulties here.
Oh, tragic.
But, as we do, we base it off of Alano Beach area. So I'm going by the Weather Channel forecast. If you missed it, I'll read it off for you. Maybe you're not looking that far ahead like we are. Then something's wrong. You like your job too much. But so if we're looking at it, Friday we're talking high 86, low 67, about 52% chance. Looks like thunderstorms, probably going to be scattered throughout the area, honestly. And at that percentage, it's kind of 50-50. You can probably plan on, you can still get some stuff done. You just have a limited time frame. But
absolutely.
As we roll into Saturday, it's looking better. High 82, so it's about 4 degrees cooler, low 64, partly cloudy. Looks like the sun will be probably creeping out from the clouds early on in the morning. 10-mile-an-hour wind. Looks like 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds, partly cloudy skies, a little northbound wind, north blowing wind, however you want to say that. Sunday, we're talking high 82, low 68, intervals of clouds and sunshine. Northwest winds shifting to east at 10 to 15 mile an hour. You probably expect that later on in the day, but it's just a nice partly cloudy day, 3%. So honestly, might be a little bit windy, but that just means get your weights. Get your Sputnik rigs, probably going to be running 4 or 5 ounces for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here as well. Looks like the wind, I'm looking at Saturday here, and it looks like the wind, about sunrise. Let's see, sunrise is 6:33 a.m. Sunset is 8:09 p.m. And then it looks like we got a low tide at 5:53 a.m. High tide at 11:54 a.m. And then low tide again at 5:46 p.m. So looking pretty good overall.
Honestly, it's not bad because you're fishing the morning up until the wind picks up, and then it'll be high tide. So you're going to be fishing that incoming tide, which for me, that's preferred. I'd much rather try to do that. Really, is any water movement, as long as incoming, outgoing. I prefer incoming tide because typically I feel the water's cleaner. But then again, I've seen it pretty clean outgoing.
Yeah, I like fishing the incoming tide as well. As you guys know, I like fishing any tide that's moving. I don't like fishing slack tides. And the surf's actually looking pretty good too for Saturday. We're only looking at like foot and a half waves pretty much all day. The wind is going to come from like Nick was saying, about 9 a.m. it's going to come from the northwest at 9 to 11 miles an hour, and then by about noon it drops down to 4 miles an hour and stays there pretty much all day, but it will shift over to the east. I'm looking at 5 p.m. it's supposed to shift from the east-northeast, and then by 6 p.m. it's supposed to be coming straight from the east. So if you're fishing in the morning into the afternoon, you're going to be dealing with a northwest wind pretty much all day. So overall, I think pretty good.
You can still get out there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think, honestly, I think it's looking like a great day of fishing, especially on Saturday. Because, we're looking at a high of 80 on Saturday, according to Tides for Fishing. and it's supposed to be high of 80, supposed to be 68 degrees at 7 a.m., peaking at 2
Oh,
p.m.,
man, that's nice.
and then getting down to 72 at 9 p.m. So honestly, great day of fishing overall.
Yeah, I'm free Saturday too, so
Hey, there you
I
go.
reckon we could probably make something happen. At least do some early morning
Something. We'll figure something
Mm-hmm.
out. But yeah, so we're maybe get out there and do a little bit of shark fishing, Nick. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'll just straight up bring 2 rods. I'll bring a rod to catch bait, which I mean we'll be using chunk bait too. So I mean, or we could
100%.
just go straight, just only the shark rods or the
Hey,
big
there you
fish
go.
rods.
There you go. Yeah, I mean it's looking pretty good. Nick, what would you consider to be a shark rod for you? Like what kind of reel would you want to use for shark fishing?
So for a reel, I'll tell you in a second. Because first things first, you're gonna want to go with an 11-foot rod, 11 to 12 foot.
Yep.
11's fine. 12 foot's just, I mean, if you want, you don't need it, but or
Well,
if you already got a 12
I
foot,
typically
that
find
works
that the
fine.
12 footers are easier to find. It's harder to find like
Yeah,
10,
it
11
is.
footers, you know?
It is.
I feel like 12 foot's kind of the standard. Like you got your 6, 7 foot rods, your 8, 9 foot rods for the intercoastable. But if you're going surf fishing, I feel like everybody pretty much uses a 12-foot rod,
Yeah. So I
especially
mean,
when
you
you're
can use one
targeting
of
a large
those too.
species.
Yeah, and at least you'll have a little bit more strength in a rod, so you got a foot difference. But I'd say that with I run a Daiwa BG 6500, and I think it's a 6500. Should be, but you can probably get away with a like 5,000 and up, just depending on what size shark you're wanting to catch or big fish. Because I mean, you could probably have one fight pretty good as long as you got good, strong line on there. Which let me try to stay in order on the reel here. Sorry, I get carried away.
On a tide. Get carried away on a tide.
Yeah, it does happen. But yeah, probably. What do you think, Alex? Like a 5,000 be the smallest reel?
Yeah, 5,000, about the smallest I'd go with that. Anywhere from 5 to, you really want to push it, you can do a 7,000. But yeah, 5 to 6,000, 6,500. That's typically where I go with mine. You can use a bit. I've used big 8,000 size reels in the past, but you really don't need them.
Yeah, it's almost kind of overkill.
Well, if you're casting your bait, because Nick and I are casting our bait. If you are deploying your bait by another means other than casting, I would not recommend a spinning reel. I would recommend a drum reel, which you can,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about casting. You kayak it out, drone it out, RC boat it out. I've seen that recently, but yeah, we're casting, so I would go in the neighborhood of 5 to 6,000.
Yeah. Because that's going to get the job done. You're going to have easy casts, and you don't only have to, go for big fish that are sharks on that reel. You can throw a pomp rig out there or something and land a solid pompano, or who knows, maybe a big red cruise on the beach.
Can confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Dana, I'm gonna get to your comment here. It looks like Dana. First off, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Dana asks or says, every once in a while, and sometimes more than just an occasion, I'll see certain YouTubers shore fishing, but with smaller gear, almost like their own personal gear. Just wondering. So I'm assuming that's referring to, and then he asks, can you do something like that? I'm assuming you're referring to, size reels and the, 3,000, or even, we'll say even as small, because I've seen it as small as 2,000 up to 4,000 size reels. And they've got 6-foot rods, 7-foot rods, 8-foot rods, stuff like that. You absolutely can do that. If you're going surf fishing, that's an excellent rod to use surf fishing. You catch, nice whiting with it, nice spots, pompanos even. You don't have to have the big giant reels to go surf fishing. The main thing you want to do when it comes to shark fishing off the surf is you want to have those big reels because you want to have the line capacity. If you don't have the line capacity, chances are that shark or tarpon or big red or something could spool you, which has happened to me in the past. I hooked up into a big tarpon on a 4,000 size reel, and he spooled me. There was nothing I could do.
Insert the quote. He's gonna spool me. He's gonna spool me. He's gonna spool me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I only said it about 14,000 times in that video, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and plus another thing too, if you're using some like 7-footers, 8-footers out there at the beach, you can throw spoons. I think, as you mentioned, But you can throw spoons or just make a little Carolina rig, or just do like a single drop rig or single float rig, and catch whiting, bluefish, pomps, all you name it. You can dang near catch everything, just except the bigger stuff.
Yeah, honestly. And you can catch whatever you want on whatever size pound test you want, and reel and rod and all that and this, that, and the other. You just got to have the experience to do it. I mean, I want to say the world record swordfish was caught, or a sailfin, I'm sorry. I want to say the world record sailfin was caught on 2 pound line. It was like a 900 pound fish was caught on 2 pound line. That's
That's
insane.
insane.
I
That's
I
ridiculous.
I couldn't do that. I'm telling you right now, I could not do that.
I feel like it's probably not great for the fish because it's going to get so worn out
I
unless they were going to
Yeah,
keep it anyway. But
exactly.
Dana, so they do come in two pieces. Some are what, like a 50-50 split, just right in the middle, and then some are like a 60-40 split, maybe, I guess you could say. Just, some straight even, and then some are a little offset. You'll have one end of the rod shorter than the other, but yeah,
I feel
luckily
like
they make
typically
them
with
that way.
my 12 footers, because all my 12 footers are two pieces, and I want to say, because I have three, and all three of them are, they go right in half. So you just got 6 foot sections.
Yeah.
And yeah, having a 12-foot rod, trying to store a 12-foot rod anywhere is insane. I always keep mine in two pieces unless I'm actively using it.
Yeah, and plus most of, like, pretty much even the really high end expensive rods are two piece. I mean, for that size, yeah, they're likely going to be two piece because I think whoever designed it thought about that. Where am I going to store this now? You know, and they're still strong even though they're in two separate pieces. But
Yeah, I've never had a problem with mine.
plus, what you can do too, right? Let's say you want it to stay together. If you get a hair tie, you can wrap a hair tie around the two rods and just kind of hold them together
Yeah,
on both ends.
I've done hair ties, Velcro straps for like extension cords and stuff. Those work really well for
Oh
that.
yeah,
I've done coated
yeah.
wire, wrap that around. That works really well too. Yeah, there's all kinds of
You
stuff
know
to
that
store 'em.
rubber flex wire or whatever,
Yeah,
where
that's
it's
what I'm
like
talking about. Yep.
oh yeah, yeah. See, there's all kinds of stuff for that. Luckily, but you'll be able to have a fun time with an 11 or 12 foot rod. I mean, you'll be able to cast over the waves, and then a good rod holder. I mean, honestly, my good rod holder. I mean, I'm sure if anybody's seen Alex's, his are homemade.
Yep.
Mine's super homemade. I literally just got a piece of PVC. I didn't measure. I just eyeballed out the
Cut
length
it
that
at
I
an
want,
angle.
and then just cut it at an angle. And
Yeah, ain't
then
nothing wrong with that.
I put my rod holders in a camp chair bag with the shoulder sling, and then I put a little rubber mallet in there. So yes, I have to mallet them into the ground, but it's really not that big of a deal, and they're nice and easy for transportation in the chair bag because it just fits perfect. So, and that way
Absolutely.
you can get more length if you just cut it yourself, because most of the ones are like short and they're going to keep the rod lower to the ground. Which I don't like. I'd rather have it be up there, get the rod tip up higher than even what the rod length is, and that way it helps keep over the waves. Your line's not getting pulled by the waves as much. You're not getting caught on as much seaweed, I would even argue.
Yeah.
And that way, for whenever you go to grab the rod to then reel in, set the hook, it's already at an appropriate height, so you're not having to like lean down. So you can just run up to it, grab it. It's already right there, stomach height, and then you're ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like using my rod holders are 4 foot. I put about a foot and a half into the sand, and then that usually gives me just enough room. I can pull it up, start fighting.
Yeah, I
So
like yours because all you do is just push on them,
I was about to say
and then they
mine are
lock in. They
nice.
got like
Which
that spade end on them.
Yeah, exactly. Mine are nice because one, they're incredibly cheap, very economical, budget friendly, super easy to make. You don't have to have a ton of tools and whatnot to make them. And the advantage is I can put my rod holders in the sand and take them out with one hand, which is pretty massive.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Makes it easier. But Dana, I would say go to Academy or shoot, even Walmart if you're looking for some, because you can always piece one together. Or there's Resellers Reef. You
I was
can
about to
go
say
to any
you
of
can
these
buy
tackle
pre-made
shops.
ones. You can. What I used to do back in the day was I would go to Walmart, or I'm sorry, I would go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get a 10-foot section of PVC, and just cut it right in half, and boom, two
Oh,
rod
I'm talking
holders.
about for building a surf rod.
Oh yeah, building a surf rod. Yeah, I go
That too,
to
though.
yeah. So for building the surf rod, I go to Lowe's or Home Depot, and I get all the stuff there, and it's really cheap. I'm trying to find the. There it is. Trying to find the video so that I could.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome
Oh,
back to
okay. Settle down. Trying to find the video so that I can link it there in the comments. That's the video there. If anybody's curious about how I make my rod holders, that is a full video showing how I do it. I should probably update that just to
You
make
know
a
what?
better quality one, but
You
yeah.
do that, and we'll do a comparison. I'll make some.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, make them together. See which one's better. Dude, will you have? Don't you still? Do you still have a scale for the when we were catching bass back in the day?
Ooh, God, I don't think so.
It's probably gone. I was talking to Dallas about that. He said that we need a scale for that catfish that he caught, which Dallas just last Thursday when I was out there with him, we went fishing over there at the same place that we keep going for surf fish, North Quanah River Preserve, right over there. This man caught a 21. This is from the mouth to the tip of the tail. One of those sailfin catfish that was 21 inches
It's
total
good size
length.
catfish.
Yeah, I think the state record's like 9 pounds or something. So we definitely wish we had a scale just to see. Who knows? I mean, a 9 pound catfish, it's pretty stout catfish. But
Especially saltwater.
for testing the rod holder's strength,
Oh, like pull string, see
um,
how much it takes to like pull them
yeah,
out of the sand.
yeah, or just tilt them over. Because if your rod holder tips over and you
Never
got
good.
something on, then it's just gonna, yeah, it's just gonna pull. So that's why you always leave your drag loose too.
Absolutely, which is a
Trying to
big
catch
part of shark
sharks.
fishing. Yeah, is making sure
Yep.
that you got your drag appropriately set, because I can always tell very quickly if I have a shark on or not. They have very, very telltale signs.
Yeah.
They'll grab that bait and just take off. There is no mistaking it. They'll grab that and you'll just hear that drag start singing. It's insane. Yep.
Yeah, they'll come and mess with your bait. A few hard hits, you'll see it go boom, 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 and you'll be like, okay, something's going on here. And you get up to it, and then you'll see it do like a little boom, 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 and then it just doubles over,
Yep.
and then it just start peeling drag. So even the little ones too.
100%. 100%. Which what's your favorite bait for going for sharks, Nick?
Dude, honestly, so either cut mullet or cut whiting. Cut baits always work pretty well. I would like to try again, like good size, bless you, good size finger mullet. I see. You know how I know you sneezed because I'm watching the live. Damn, what was that 4? You
Yep.
get
For,
one more. That's it. You're cut
I
off
know,
for the
right?
day.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say cut bait, cut whiting, cut mullet is good.
Any kind of fresh
Cut
cut bait.
bonita,
Yep.
very bloody bait. You want a very bloody bait. So, but
Cut
also, I
bonita,
mean, if
Jack
I mean,
Crevalle, ladyfish.
you could catch like an 8-inch mullet,
Yeah.
and
Oh
then
yeah.
if you butterfly it, I mean, that just gets the scent out there more.
Yep.
Um, yeah, really, whatever bait fish that are really going to be swimming around the surf
Yeah. Just cut into
is
pieces.
what you're going to want to use. Catfish, like cut up catfish, probably not.
What I got one for you. What size hook do you like to use for sharks?
I think I've been running a 7/0,
Yeah,
maybe a 6,
six,
maybe
six,
an 8.
6 or 7/0 is typically what I go for.
It's thick too.
Yeah, it's a nice thick hook, and I do have some 8/0 hooks on there, but typically I like to keep it a little smaller. Just because it's a big fish doesn't mean it's got a big mouth. Something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Because then you'll run into the issue of if you can't get that bait kind of really hooked on there, like you'll
Yep.
just have too much room on the hook, and they'll just rip it off easier. So
Yep.
definitely get a good proportional size of the hook to the bait, I'd say.
100%. 100%. What now I like to
line?
use I was about to say I like to use line when it comes to shark fishing. My line I typically use braid
Mm-hmm.
for at least a shock leader. But I do use mono typically for like my main core line. I'll use anywhere from 20 to 30 pound mono, and then I will tie my shark rigs have about 5 feet of 200 pound mono going to that's where my weight will slide on, and then I'll have about 2 to 3 feet of wire, coated wire cable because it bends a little easier, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I use to get my bait out there, and that gives me enough room and enough stretch that no matter the shark I catch, I don't have to worry about a tail whip in my main line and breaking off because that happens quite a bit.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. So the reason that you have the braid on there with mono backing it, that's just to almost act like a recoil effect or sponge
Yep.
effect because that line gets tight around that spool. So
Yep,
having
helps
that, if you
prevent
just
the
have braid,
helps
it's
prevent the
like,
braids from slipping on the spool.
yeah, well, I like to think of it as, say you're gonna tie some line to I don't know, a truck hitch, right? You're gonna tie just straight braid to it, and then like something else, and you just do a pull test because there's no give on it's just the braid. You only have one point of failure versus having, I'd say, two, but it now increases the strength of it because it's got two failure points.
Correct. Yeah, you want to try to
We're gonna
reduce
get
as much as you
scientific
can.
here.
Which is why whenever I'm tying shark rigs, I don't tie knots at the barrel swivels. I don't tie any kind of knots. I do that for like pompano and like smaller rigs, but when I'm going for a large species of fish, I will
You want to
crimp.
do an extra loop
I
or a
well, I'll,
crimp.
I'll crimp my line typically, and that way I don't have to worry about a knot slipping or breaking or anything like that.
Hmm. Yeah. There's that one knot that I learned. I forgot it now, but
The improved cinch knot.
it's it might be. Um, it's a little complicated loop setup, but you mainly use it for like leaders if you're making big leaders and stuff. So I'll have to find it and send it to you
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
good
a good
stuff.
knot. It's a real nice. It's a pretty knot too. It's very uniform. Not a lot of slack in it or nothing. It just holds together well and is pretty damn strong. So that one's been a favorite. It's my favorite, but I forget what it's called and how to do it.
Outstanding. Yeah, I mean, you got all kinds of knot you can do. Like I said, if you like my big 200 pound spool of mono that I have, it's oh, actually right here. So this big
Oh well,
spool of mono that I have here, you guys can see the thickness of this line is
how'd that get
absolutely.
there?
It's how'd that get? Yeah, exactly. Um,
Damn.
it's girthy. Like this line is some thick line, and trying to tie knots with this line is impossible. I've tried before; it doesn't work. You have to crimp 200 pound mono like this, and this is what I use for my shark fishing rigs, my big rigs. And I got this a couple years ago, and it's gonna last me probably forever because you only use 5 6 foot sections of it at a time. But
Damn, boy, he's dead.
yeah, exactly. One of the things that I do with my leaders is once you get past like 60 pound mono, that thickness, you're really gonna struggle to tie those knots and keep
Yeah,
keep
that's why.
holding on to them, and tie strong knots. That's why it's always good to crimp them.
Yeah, it's definitely. I tried to do the same knot that I would do for braid or
Oh
normal
yeah, can't do
15,
that.
20 pound mono. No, can't. You're either crimping or you're doing a super cool guy knot that you got to look up on YouTube.
Exactly. But I let's see, reels, rods, lines, baits, weights. Oh, what kind of tide do you look for when it comes to sharks?
So for sharks, I like high tide because I know that they're up close. They're chasing that bait in. So and then if you can time it either early morning or that late afternoon into evening, that's when they're out.
Absolutely,
You know, I mean,
absolutely.
we've caught them midday before too,
I
just
was about to say
cruising the
you
beach
can
as
catch them
well.
whenever. Yeah, you can absolutely catch them whenever. But one of like Nick was saying, like at high tide especially, you can you can really catch them going in between the sandbars and stuff, chasing those bait fish. It's a great time to get them.
Oh yeah, and that's proven effective because it seems like whenever I've caught the big one, like a big ass shark, or if you caught one, it didn't matter what time of day it was just high tide.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the other thing. All this information that we're giving you guys are for sharks that Nick and I catch that are typically between 3 and we'll say 6, maybe even 7 feet. The biggest I've caught using all this stuff is 6 feet. But we're
Mine
not.
was like 4 feet.
Yeah, we're not going after those massive 8, 9, 10 foot sharks. That's
I
just
don't want to
insane.
do that.
Yeah, I don't want to
That's
deal
too
with that.
much.
That's too much. And so I like to
I
keep
don't have
it.
health insurance.
Yeah, right. We like to keep it, pretty tame. 3 to 6 feet. That's enough that you can handle it, pretty much by yourself, if you know what you're doing. But some other good gear to have: wire snips, because
Yep.
FWC does have regulations for surf fishing, and you guys have to have a shoreline shark fishing permit to catch and harvest shark. And a lot of people don't know that. And the last time we got stopped was by Officer Rob with the FWC, and he was very pleased to see that I had a shore-based shark fishing permit.
Yeah,
Because it's free.
definitely helps. Yeah.
It's free. There's a little class you take. It's very informative. It's very nice. It's very fun. It doesn't cost you anything to add it to your license. And, teaches you the regulations, what you can and can't do, all that kind of stuff. And when you're casting baits for sharks, there's no minimum gear requirement. But if you are deploying a bait using a method other than casting, FWC regulates that you have to use a main line with a minimum strength of 80 pounds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of people don't know that. But wire snips, always good to have wire snips, because in that class, the FWC class that they have you take, it tells you that if you can't remove the hook quickly, and you can't, especially if it's a prohibited species, but if you can't remove the hook quickly from the shark's mouth, you are to cut the leader as close as you can, as safely as you can, to the mouth and release it without any delay. And then, obviously the hook remover tool, great thing to have regardless of what you're going for. It's just a good tool to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, wire snips, so you can cut the wire as close as you can, because I use wire leader on my
First aid
hooks.
kit.
First aid kit. Hook remover, wire snips, first aid kit, microfiber cloth. It's always
Long
good to have.
pants.
Yeah, long pants. Yeah. And then if you do plan on harvesting shark, which I am one of the people that enjoys harvesting sharks to eat. I love eating shark. Shark is one of my favorite fish species to eat. One of my favorite aquatic species to eat.
I was just about to say aquatic species, dude. That's hilarious.
Well, because I said fish, and I was like, I don't think they're fish. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's almost it's in the same world, but it's not.
Are sharks fish? It
How many
technically.
times that's been out.
Are sharks considered fish? Sharks are technically fish, yes. But if you say, hey, we're gonna go fishing, and I show up and you have shark stuff, it's like, whoa.
We're gonna go sharking.
Yeah, like
But
hold on
sharking,
now.
yeah, I think that's something else. Uh-oh. Anyway, divert back to me. So, I just watched a video the other day about catching sharks, and I would love to catch one and get it all cleaned up, man, and do some shark steaks because it looks really good. It was angler up with Brant.
Yeah,
and I watched him do it
that's my
finally.
favorite way to eat shark, is cut them up into steaks and marinate them. And
So process from what I got from it, looking like, okay, you land it, you identify what species it is, because you could get the black tip and then a spinner shark confused.
and they have different regulations.
Yeah. So let's say you're keeping it, you're good to go. You're gonna need to bleed it. It's gnarly, but such is life. And then you're gonna need to gut it immediately, and pretty much that's it. That's your day. And then you go home, you get it all nice and filleted up, um, clean it well. Just you want to be quick with it, and that way the meat doesn't go bad or anything. And what I saw him do is he marinated it in Italian dressing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just the dressing of choice to marinate it in for a couple hours in the fridge or what.
I typically, so I have two ways I do it. I'll either marinate it in my homemade teriyaki sauce that I have overnight. I
Ooh.
typically do mine overnight. Teriyaki steak. Oh, it's teriyaki grilled shark steak. Oh, come on.
That sounds
Come on.
divine.
It's amazing. I like to marinate mine at least overnight, if not for 24 hours. And then, honestly, sharks are some of the easiest fish to clean. Again, sounds weird calling them fish, but anyways, some of the easiest fish to clean because, like Nick was saying, you bleed them right away. If you know you've got a legal species, you bleed them right away, throw them in the cooler, or bleed them, gut them, throw them in the cooler, and then when you get home, you cut off the head, the fins, and then the rest of it, you just cut into shark steaks. They got no bones, so you just cut right through
Yeah.
the backbone, the cartilage, and there you go, shark steak, and then you eat around it. It's like a T-bone steak when you grill it up and eat it. You just eat around that little centerpiece there. Perfect.
Ooh, solid.
So I use typically teriyaki, or there's a 5 pepper blend that I do, like a paste almost, and I'll do that for 24 hours too.
I would like to thank, I'm going to just say ID Personal. I'm sorry, I'm probably reading your name wrong, but we appreciate that. I'm glad that we've made it to the eat dinner while watching stage. So that's good. That's
Yeah,
real
that's
good.
that's my buddy Devin,
Oh, hell yeah.
and yeah, he invited us out a little bit ago, and it just our schedules didn't line up unfortunately. But
Must have, what was it, last Saturday or something?
no, 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 it was back in April.
Oh, true.
Way
Yeah,
she
we can
goes.
definitely make it happen, though.
Oh,
We got
100%,
time to make it
100%.
happen.
But like I said, I love eating shark steak. I think it's one of the things that because everyone I talk to, I'm like, oh, what's your favorite fish to eat? And they say, redfish or pompano or flounder or something like that. Shark is up there for me, man. I'm telling you. If it's
Oh,
not my number
I
one,
need to
it's my
try
number
it,
two.
man.
Shark steak is insanely good. It's
So, can you do anything with the fins? Like, I know there's shark fin soup. I don't know.
yeah, so you can. There's not a lot of meat in there, but yeah, a lot of
Probably do it for the flavor, almost like a ham hock.
yeah, exactly. You usually simmer it, which is from what I understand, what shark fin soup is, and shark fin soup does get a bad rep because of the practice, and a lot of people will catch sharks. I want to say it's a Eastern thing, like over in like Asia, but they'll catch sharks, cut off the fins, and then throw the rest of it back while it's alive, which is
Yeah, that's not good. Shark fin soup, commercial side, eh,
yeah,
thumbs down, bad.
yeah, absolutely.
Shark fin soup, personal side, good.
And I've done
Is
that.
that,
I've seen people
yeah,
catch sharks where they'll hey, I'm gonna keep this shark, and then there's some Asian people out there fishing, and they'll ask for the fins. And if you're gonna keep the species regardless, like for example, I don't do anything with the fins, the tail, or the head. And if somebody else wants them, well then yeah, let's use as much of this animal as we can now that it's given its life for us. Let's harvest as
yeah.
much
Now
as
that
we
we
can.
sacrificed this for for our hobby, yes, please use it all. I
Yep.
see you, Devin, over there. I see it.
And it's one of those things that as long as you're smart about the practice and you're not just catching sharks, cutting the fins off and throwing them back, then yeah, I mean, go for it.
You know, hot take. I don't think I've ever had a fish soup of any kind. Not gonna lie.
I don't think I have either.
Really?
Does gumbo count?
Hmm. Shrimp. It's a shellfish.
No, no. I mean, like I've had gumbo that has like catfish in it and stuff. Huh.
Ooh, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good though.
That's kind of what I'm
We
thinking.
thought about keeping that catfish just because it's so damn massive, but
I
I don't really feel like claiming
Yeah,
it.
so a lot of people that I know that have tried shark haven't had it the right way because there is a method to the madness. One, you got to bleed it right away. If you know you're going to keep
Yeah,
it, you got to bleed it right away. And you do have to marinate it because
they pee through their skin.
yeah, they pee through their skin, so they have a very, you know, pee
Stinky.
smell, stinky smell when you catch them and when you know are cleaning them and all that. And but as long as you marinate them, I've never had a problem. And honestly, whenever you marinate them and you grill them up like I do, the skin peels right off. It just picks right off. You got perfect, and then you got this nice good T-bone shark steak basically. You know, it's super good. Or I suppose ribeye would be more accurate,
Ah,
but
dang.
no, it's super good
Sounds
though.
so good, and I'm starving.
It is super good. Dude, I had so much food on the way home because I didn't eat lunch today. I ate so much food on the way
You
home.
rub it in. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
I
Appreciate
had
it.
2 garlic bacon butter burgers,
All right. All right.
loaded tater
All right. All
tots,
right. All right. Okay, that's enough.
and then regular tater
Okay,
tots,
please, please,
and then also an ocean
please don't
water.
continue. That's enough.
But yeah, no, we both had a crazy day at work. But
I had a racetrack turkey and cheese.
look at that stellar
Hoagie.
hoagie.
Honestly, yeah. You know what? It was a pre-made one
Not
at the
bad.
racetrack. I passed up the racetrack breakfast pizza. I thought, maybe I'll just wait till lunch, and this will be a little safer. Not too bad, honestly. The
All things
hoagie was
considered.
soft. It made all the crumbs because the hoagie roll has like those little like pellets of the bread dust or whatever.
Hmm.
That got everywhere, but
Naturally.
it wasn't bad with a little packed crackers. So yeah, I'll have something good for dinner to make up for it.
Hey, there you go.
Too bad it's not shark steaks, But so what is it? Just like a massive chunk of like a good tasting like whitefish?
It's I'm trying to think like kind of
It's not like lamb. Is it gamey?
no,
Almost.
not at all, not at all.
But it's a nice, dense, muscly fish.
Yeah, it's like
So you stacked 2 salmons in a row. That's
kind
too
of
flaky.
see, but that's the thing is it's not like incredibly flaky like that. It's almost like tuna, but
Mm-hmm.
not quite as like dense as tuna, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is why personally I don't think cooked tuna is good. I prefer to eat my tuna on sashimi or sushi.
Would you do that with shark?
No,
I forget what it's called. I saw some guy do it.
he had shark sushi.
Oh, shark. What is it? He had a bunch of like vegetables in it with like a vinegar-based sauce or
Oh,
something.
like a ceviche?
Ceviche, yeah, ceviche.
Ceviche, not ceviche. Good lord.
Hey, I don't watch anime, all right?
Leave me alone. I'm delirious. I haven't had food all day.
No, that's fine. I just don't watch anime, so I don't know these.
That's not anime, dude. That's Japanese. Ceviche is Spanish.
You act like there's a difference.
There is a
just
difference.
Anime is from Japan.
¿Qué pasó?
Oh, nani?
Yeah, there you go. And that concludes all of the Japanese and Spanish we know. um, but no, it's super good. I like. Yeah, right. I see that, Devin. No, I like shark steak. It's super good. I prefer grilled. But yeah, it's a super good dense meat. It's like a better version of tuna because tuna is almost too dense. Like when you cook tuna, in my opinion, because of the intramuscular fat, is so velvety. Like when you eat it raw, that it's really good. But when you cook it, all that just goes right out of it, and you're left with this hyper dense something you have to chew forever. Like I don't know. It's not for me.
And not bad. I'll have to try it. I'll have to. Well, I wonder if fresh tuna is better than, like store-bought tuna. I'm sure. It usually is.
Typically, yeah.
Any fish is. What else? What else on the agenda?
That's pretty much it. We went over everything.
Um, Yeah, I'm just trying to think if we got all the any
I
questions
was about to say, if you guys have
answered
any
from the
questions in
chat.
the chat, definitely let us know. Ask us about it. If you guys aren't subscribed, definitely make sure to click that subscribe button. I'm gonna be making a new kind of content where mechanic content, where I show you guys the stuff that I'm doing on various trucks and whatnot, replacing brakes, wheel hub assemblies. I think I have a wheel hub assembly I need to replace tomorrow. I think it just showed up today, so that'll be fun. Hopefully it wasn't as awful as the brake job was today. But definitely, make sure to check out all the content that's coming up. We do a podcast every week. It's a good time. Nick, you want to wrap it up with some questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say I too will be uploading some footage on my account
Oh,
because we got the engine pulled. Alex was there to assist and
out of
help.
his
He
WRX.
actually came in, yeah, out of the wrecked car. So now I'll be trying to sell that, but the engine is out. I need to get some bolts for it, for that motor mount. Or not the motor mount, but for it to sit on the engine
An
stand.
engine stand. Yeah.
But yeah, it's out. That was the time. But
Yeah.
I need to get all that footage like pieced together,
Transferred
or
over
and
and
go through and edit.
edited, right.
I will need help with that because I've got it on multiple cameras. So,
Oh, I got you. No worries, man.
but a lot of it's on the iPhone, so I'll probably just post some shorts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll probably just post some shorts. Those will be good. But I don't know. What kind of do you have? Let's do 2 questions and then we'll
Yeah,
wrap
let's
it up.
do it. Yeah. We'll start with number 1 here. What are some of the common shark species you can expect to encounter when fishing from the surf around Jacksonville, Florida?
All right, let me go first here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so we're going to go with Atlantic sharpnose. You're going to see that one a lot. Probably black tips. They're probably not going to be as common. Definitely bonnet head sharks. I don't know about sand sharks, really, but what else? Not hammerheads.
Yeah, I was about to say
Not
not.
yet.
Well, you do find those, but those are not very common. Those are you're targeting those. But yeah, common shark species that I see caught all the time in the surf. You got the Atlantic sharp nose. You got the black nose shark, not the black tip shark. The black nose shark. That's a very common one. Bonnet heads, scallop heads, which I see mistaken all the time for bonnet heads, and those are a protected species, which you are not supposed to photograph, film, or do anything. As soon as you realize you have a scallop head, you are supposed to release it immediately. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people not do that, just because they're ignorant of the law, which, as we were told by Officer Rob, just because you don't know the regulations doesn't mean you don't have to adhere to them. So don't get those tickets because he was ready. He was looking for some infractions.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be out there surf fishing, you better know your regulations. You better know your licenses. You better know your gear.
Yeah. It's easier that way.
100%, it's easier that way.
Less headache, less drama. We spent.
Yeah, right. But yeah, those are the species around here. You ready to move on to number 2?
Let's see it.
So this one is for catch and release. What steps should anglers take to ensure that sharks are released safely and remain healthy after being caught?
Well, you don't really want to drag them backwards through the water since
Right.
they have a forward breathing apparatus for gills, I guess you could call it. There's
Yep.
a certain word for it, but it's like
Couldn't tell you what it is, but yeah, there's
like a
one.
ram air intake. It's like a ram air intake. The water has to be going forward, otherwise it will drown, correct?
Oh,
If
eventually.
their water goes. Yeah, so I mean, sometimes it's tough. You got to get the shark out of the surf. You can, as long as it's not like underwater. I think you're okay, but you just don't want to do it too much. Ideally, you just want to try to push them out of the water or push them into the water rather than pull. I always try to do that. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of both, but yeah, I'd say get it out of the water safely enough so that way it's not going to have enough water to just turn around and get you. So whatever the safe depth's going to be, I'm going to say top of the feet deep is the most I'd want it. but even that can still be a little
little
just
hairy.
enough. So
They
you're just
can
gonna
whip
want to
around
get it
quick.
unhooked and then just get it right back out there if you're just doing catch and release. Quickly get pictures or a video. Don't
Yeah, don't
keep it out of
dally.
the water.
Dilly
Be
dally.
like, hold on, let me go get my phone. Like, you either have your phone or somebody with a phone to do it for you. You could, unless you're gonna sprint 10 feet back to your stuff, but just the shark really needs to be back in the water in under a minute. I'd say is
Yeah. Oh,
pretty
yeah, max.
safe.
Yeah. Well, especially so. What I was gonna say is the number one thing that I see people do wrong is they'll catch baby sharks and they'll hold them out of the water. Baby sharks are very fragile. You have to get them back in the water
Yeah.
as quickly as you possibly can because they die very, very quickly. And I've seen like, oh, it swam off, and then 20 feet down the
Wash it
surf,
back up.
yeah, it
Yeah.
washes back up. Yeah, so like when I catch baby sharks, I don't even take pictures. I unhook it and throw it back immediately.
It's not picture worthy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, nobody wants to see a baby shark. Like, oh, that's neat. Throw it back.
It's not worth. It's not the risk isn't worth it for the picture.
100%.
Something like that. It's a mental picture.
Exactly. But
You see it. You see it. All right.
yeah, hey, that's cool. Throwback. But yeah,
Right.
if you guys get out there and do some shark fishing, definitely let us know. Show us your photos, all that kind of jazz. We'd be psyched to see it. But I reckon that'll wrap up today. Nick, you got anything else to add?
That I need everybody to sit down real quick. So here's the thing, okay? No one's gonna do it for us. We have to go out there and do it ourselves. And if you want it done the right way, do it yourself or show someone how to do it and
Yep.
incorporate the way that they're doing it as well. Nobody's right or wrong. We all have different opinions and different ways that we do things in this life. So just be kind. Be a good person. Help somebody out.
Yep.
Karma's good. Good karma's nice. High honor, if you will.
100%.
That's about it. And just push through the week. Get to the weekend again. Catch up on other stuff. Or get out there after work one day. Go fish after work one day. Whether it's bass fishing in a pond, in a lake, in a river. Or out there saltwater fishing at the beach, in the marshes. Just get out there and do it. It hits different for the week instead of only having to wait for the weekend. You can get a little bit better practice. Say you get warmed up going one day in the week, and you know you're going to go on the weekend. You're like, oh, sick! I was just here. I'm hot.
There you go. Can't go wrong with it, honestly.
Thank you. You can stand up now.
You're right. No. It's wiping a tear from my eye. No. Great, great advice as always, Nick. And if you guys have any questions or anything else, you guys know we respond to every comment down in the comment section as well as on all of the videos. So reach out. Don't be afraid. If you guys don't want to ask below a video, you're welcome to email me at 904fishingflorida@gmail.com. I answer every email. But without further ado, you guys, we're going to wrap up this episode. We'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. But until next time, keep your casts long, your lines tight, and your stories true.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.